Greetings, you horrible lot. If you've been using the Fallout New Vegas mod Brave New World, you may have come across some character revoices that weren't quite to your tastes. Well, in this tutorial, I'm going to do my best to show you how to remove a revoice from Brave New World if you so choose. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking that removing a revoice was as simple as deleting the audio files of any given character. Well, in actual fact, in the case of Brave New World, you don't need to delete any audio whatsoever, which is relatively convenient for us because in order to do that, we would have to unpack the BSAs to get the audio files. Naturally, doing so would add additional complexity to this tutorial, a complexity that I'd rather avoid if I can help it. So indeed, we need to revert the voice type and dialogue subtitles of the revoiced NPC to their vanilla state by removing the changes from the plugin itself. Once those changes have been made, the game can no longer access the audio from the BSA, hence deleting the audio is entirely unnecessary. Furthermore, I should note that the process will be more or less the same regardless of which version of Brave New World you're using, be it the revoice only version or the revoice and face redesign version. But where there are subtle differences, I will let you know. The methods used here should work for just about any of the revoiced NPCs in Brave New World, but in all honesty, I can't be 100% certain as I haven't tested this on all 145 NPCs, nor fucking will I, by the way. All I can tell you is that some NPCs may have subtle differences that I can't account for at this moment, in which case if you try removing the revoice of an NPC and you follow the methods shown in this tutorial to the letter and you still run into problems, leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to guide you through it. Lastly, and I'm only going to fucking say this once, don't make these changes to the plugin during the middle of a playthrough. Do it before you start a new game, alright? With all that said, let's get on with it, shall we? Before anything else, make a backup of the bravenewworld.esm. It's not the end of the world if you don't, you can always re-download the mod, but if you make a mistake and you have a backup on hand, at least you can roll back quickly if needs be. We're then going to need the advanced graphical module editor and conflict detector known as xEdit, or in the case of Fallout New Vegas, FNVEdit. It doesn't matter too much if you're not well versed in it. I mean, it'd help obviously, but if you're not too familiar with it, don't worry. Just make sure that before following this tutorial, FNVEdit is properly installed and that you're using the latest stable version, which at the time of making this video is version 4.0.4. If you're using a mod manager, you'll need to ensure that FNVEdit is set up correctly to launch from that mod manager. We won't be covering the installation of that here, however, there will be a link in the description to a tutorial that guides you through the installation. Once FNVEdit is installed, you want to load FNVEdit from your mod manager. Then, from the module selection window, select only the bravenewworld.esm. You can do this by right-clicking anywhere in the module selection window, choosing Select None, then checking the box next to bravenewworld.esm and clicking OK. Or you can simply double left-click the bravenewworld.esm in the module selection window and that'll have the same effect. Do whichever suits you. Once the plugin has loaded, it should read background loader finished in a messages log. I'm going to remove two NPCs as an example in this video. We're going to remove Senior Knight Lorenzo, voiced by Yong Ye.
I wish you the best of luck. We haven't had the best success in getting those components. It's been a very arduous task.
And driver Nephi, voiced by Pronogo.
Lots. More than any other fiend. Hundreds, maybe. Wham! Bam! Oh god, my brains. You hit me in my brains. Easy as that.
I personally like these two revoices, however, from what I've observed, these two stand out as being the revoiced NPCs that some of you fine folks have shown the most aversion to, for whatever reason. Therefore, it only makes sense to use them as an example, since they're most likely going to be the ones people want to remove. So, beginning with Lorenzo. Expand the voice type tree for bravenewworld.esm. Sort by editor ID to make it easier to find his voice type, and start by deleting Lorenzo's voice type, male unique Lorenzo. Deleting Lorenzo's voice type will create several errors that need to be fixed. These errors can be seen by right-clicking the bravenewworld.esm plugin and selecting Check for Errors. Once you select it, you should find 5 errors. We need to remove those errors from some of the dialog quests. So collapse the voice type tree, we won't be needing it again. Expand the quest tree from bravenyworld.esm. Remove the error from vdialog Brotherhood of Steel faction quest by pressing delete on your keyboard. Remove the error from the generic adult combat quest, the generic adult quest, and the B&W dialogue quest. We can now collapse the quest tree. Next, we need to delete the changes made to Lorenzo's NPC record, reverting him back to vanilla. Go ahead and expand the non-player character tree. Sort by name again to make it a bit easier to find him. His in-game name is Senior Knight Lorenzo, so that's what we're looking for. Select it in the left-hand pane and hit delete when you've found it. Likewise, if you're using the face redesign version and you want to keep his appearance, you can simply drag the vanilla voice type field over to the Brave New World one, overwriting it instead, if you want to, that is. If you want to revert everything regardless, simply delete the record. Collapse the non-player character tree. If you did everything correctly and check for errors again, those errors should now be gone. Next, we will go through any changes made to the vanilla dialogue topics and revert them back to their vanilla state. If you're unsure about what dialogue topics belong to the NPC you're removing, you could find most vanilla NPCs by heading to one of the many Fallout fandom sites like Nukipedia Fallout Wiki. You should find Fallout NPC profiles with their entire dialogue accessible from there. I'll go over a few other methods of finding the dialogue lines later. Expand the dialogue topic tree for bravenewworld.esm. Sort by editor ID. We're going to remove quite a few records here, so feel free to use Control left mouse click or Shift left mouse click to select multiple files if you feel comfortable enough. Just be careful, you don't want to delete the wrong records. So I'm going to hold down Control and select the following records: EDE radio conversation and EDE topic test. Once they're selected, hit delete. Scroll down a bit more until we find the vdialog Hidden Valley HV Knight EDE records. Once you've found them, hold down Control again and select the following: vdialog Hidden Valley HV Knight EDE topic 000. And to save my sanity, I'm not going to name them all completely. I'm going to list them by the number. So you want 000, 02, 03, 05, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, and 22. When they're all selected, hit delete. For the greetings lines, we'll need to remove 4 records from the bravenewworld.esm. Start by typing 001-5A00B into the form ID field at the top left of the window. Press enter. This search will land you on the self-same vanilla record in the falloutnv.esm. We don't want to delete this. In fact, even if we wanted to, it's not possible. FNV won't let you. Instead, what we need to do is look to the right-hand pane. Here you can see 2 columns. The left one is for falloutnv.esm and the right for bravenewworld.esm. Right-click the top of the column where it says 01 bravenewworld.esm. A small context menu box should appear, and therein you should see the option to jump to. Select this, and we'll be brought to the same form ID, but in the Brave New World plugin. Looking to the left-hand pane again, you'll see 0015A00B. And below that, you'll see the record 0015FD3A, 001632B8, and 00160416. We need to select all 4. Do so using Control and left mouse click. And once all 4 are selected, they will be arranged side by side in the right-hand pane. You should see that they all reference Senior Knight Lorenzo. That's what you should have. If you don't, double check you've selected the correct records. Assuming it looks like mine does here, hit delete to remove them. Let's save our work now before we continue to the next step. Do this by pressing Ctrl and S That'll bring up the Save Changed Files window. Be sure that bravenewworld.esm is checked and select OK. Now that we've saved it, let's collapse the plugins and sort by form ID just to get our bearings again. Alright, reopen the dialog topics tree again and look for goodbye in big capital letters. Expand it, we're looking for 3 goodbye lines that belong to Lorenzo. You'll find these lines a bit of the way down with form IDs 01008438, 01008439 and 01008438A. If you look to the right pane where the conditions are, you should see that they all have the Getty's ID for HV Knight EDE, aka Senior Knight Lorenzo. Once they're all selected and you're sure you have the right ones, hit delete. Collapse the goodbye tree. Next, look for the death tree in the left pane. Expand, and we're looking for 5 death noises from Lorenzo. And that's these 5 here with the form ID 0100D1E3, 0100D1E4, D1E5, D1E6, and D1E7. When all are selected, go ahead and hit delete. Collapse the death tree. Now we're looking for the hit tree. It should be a bit further up. Expand it. Lorenzo has 9 hit sounds, the grunts that play when an NPC is hit. Assuming you're sorted by form ID, they're not too far from the top and should be the first got hit sound 1 to 9 that you come across. If you're not sure, the form IDs are 0100D4C7, 0100D4C8, 0100D4C9, D4CA, D4CB, D4CC, D4CD, D4CE, and finally 0100D4CF. Do you have those right? Good. Delete them. Collapse the hit tree. Lastly, for this step, find the Start Combat Response tree on the left. Expand. There should only be 4 combat response lines. Lorenzo's line is the one that reads, "For the Brotherhood." And for me, that's the second one down. Select it and delete it. Collapse everything down. Let's save again precisely as we did before. We're not done just yet though, so don't close FNVEdit. As you may have guessed, deleting some of the dialog topics may produce more errors from time to time. In our case it has. Again, we can see these errors by right-clicking the plugin and selecting Check for Errors. So let's do that now. And as you can see, FNVEdit has found 4 new errors in the Brave New World dialog quest. I'll try and explain in layman's terms as to what's going on here. Earlier, when we deleted 3 goodbye lines, we basically broke the arrangement of a list. When I built the plugin in the GECK, I decided to organise the goodbye lines in alphabetical order of the NPC names. For example, 118 Alexander, 118 Samuel, Camp Searchlight Asta, Camp Searchlight Logan, Dr. Kemp, etc. Lars Taggart's line is supposed to appear after Lorenzo's line in the list. Now that Lorenzo is gone, Lars is basically missing previous record info for his goodbye line. So the ordering becomes disarranged and broken. To fix this, we need to copy the new information from the line that should be there now that Lorenzo is gone. In this case, a line for Torres should come before. The form ID for this line is 0100F08B. We shall navigate to that record now, and there you will see a goodbye line for Torres. On this record, we want to head to the top of the right-hand pane where you see the record header, and just below that you should see where it says Form ID. Double-clicking the Form ID information to its right will bring up a smaller window. We need to copy that information to this window. So select it and Ctrl-C to copy to your clipboard. Now we head back to Lars Taggart's line 01005-649, and we will paste this in the previous info section of Lars's record. Do this by right-clicking where it says Error could not be resolved, select Edit, clear the value and paste the information we copied from the previous record. Then press OK. That's 1 error resolved. We need to do the same sort of thing for the remaining 3. You should have a bit of an idea now as to what needs doing, so I'll try and speed up this last part. The following error was in form ID 01012524. This is Dobson's hit line. We're going to load this after the one for Private Kowalski. Head to form ID 010074F0, copy the form ID info, head back to Dobson's line at the top, and replace the error with the new info. Like so. Next is form ID 01012523. This is another line for Dobson, this time a death line. Again, we're going to use Kowalski's info. Find 01006F30, copy the info, back to Dobson's death line and overwrite the error. Finally, the last error is at form ID 01012522. It's a start combat response line for Dobson. We're going to have it load after Lucius's line, where you can see it says, for Caesar. Go to that record, grab the info, go back to Dobson's line, and paste it over the last error. If you did everything correctly, we should be all clear when we search for errors again. And we're golden. Let's make a save. That should do it for Lorenzo. Let's head in game and make sure everything checks out.
Good to see you again. What can I help you with? So now I'm going to have your death on my conscience too? Great. No, I heard you quite clearly. You're being sent off to be killed like the others. You think you're the first person the Elders trusted with this? He sent 3 of our patrols out looking for those components, and they're all dead. I was the one who supplied the Elder with the location of possible sites where we could find the components, so their deaths are my fault. And now it's your turn. Well, don't say you weren't warned. I won't take the blame when you die horribly, but I can tell you're getting impatient. The items I'll need to keep the system running are a differential pressure controller, a reverse pulse cleaner, and several HEPA cartridge filters. At present, my best guess for finding the items would be to search any of the old vaults in the area. Those vaults were usually built much like these military bunkers, even using the same contractors in their constructions at times. I'll mark the vault's locations on your map. Best of luck to you.
Okay, Lorenzo's voice has been reverted to vanilla, and he seems to be working correctly. As a reminder, I am using the Revoice only version for this tutorial. If you're using the Revoice and face redesign version, and you're reverting both an NPC's voice and appearance back to vanilla, you may run into some face tint issues, in which case you'll need to unpack the Brave New World main.bsa and delete their face tints from the folders textures / characters / bodymods / bravenewworld.esm and textures / characters / facemods / bravenewworld.esm. Lorenzo's form ID is 00A41A3, and so you'll need to find and delete the tint files that correspond to the form ID in the aforementioned folders. I'm sorry to say, but I won't be delving deep into that here. Knowing that you need to unpack the BSAs to find and delete the correct tint files should be enough of a cue to help you solve that issue. Now, I must admit, finding the correct lines can be an absolute pain in the ass at times, especially if you don't know what you're looking for. Undoubtedly, some of you will be tailoring this procedure to suit your own needs, i.e. removing other NPC revoices that you don't want from the plugin. Earlier I mentioned Nukipedia Fallout Wiki as a way of finding lines. You can do that, but it isn't always reliable, so I'm going to list a few other ways to find the form IDs. One way would be to jump into the GECK before making any of these changes, finding the NPC you want to revert, clicking the dialog button in their NPC window and noting down all of the form IDs across all tabs for each line of their dialogue. Another way would be to go through the dialogue records one by one in FNVEdit until you see the getIsID that references your NPC's editor ID, though this method can be labour intensive and a bit of an eye strain, so I don't recommend it. However, if you want to go that route, you'll need to know the NPC's editor ID. This can be found by simply opening up the non-player character tree in FNVEdit and looking for it. For example, perhaps you want to remove Don Hostetler. His editor ID is North Vegas Mr. Hostetler. Or maybe you want to remove Keller. His editor ID is NVNCR Agent Keller, and so on and so forth. You would then need to go back to, for example, the goodbye lines and start from the top, keeping an eye on the right-hand pane until you find the editor ID you're looking for. In addition to this, not every revoiced NPC has greetings, death, and/or hit lines. Some NPCs may have lines in other categories, such as combat and detection. Some may have hello lines, whereas others do not, etc. Oh, and before I forget, a great many NPCs didn't receive their own revoiced combat and death grunts. This was due to time constraints, the project's budget, practicability, etc. And I mention this because for those NPCs, we decided to give them vanilla grunts, but ones that were selected to approximately match their overhauled voice type. This was done by effectively duplicating the vanilla generic adult and generic adult combat dialogue quests and naming them BNW generic adult and BNW generic adult combat respectively. Long story short, if you decide to remove an NPC and during the initial process of finding out which lines need to be deleted, you come across some that are part of either of those two dialogue quests I mentioned, make sure that you don't delete their records from the dialogue topic tree. Suffice to say, it'll fuck shit up. The only thing you need to do in those circumstances is remove the NPC's get his voice type condition from the dialogue quest and line itself. If you start by deleting an NPC's voice type, as we did at the beginning of this tutorial, it'll show up as an error anyway, so hopefully you'll become aware of it. But I digress. The easiest and quickest way, and the way I'm also going to recommend, is to select the NPC from the non-player character tree and click the little Referenced By tab below the right-hand pane. Here you'll see all of the records that reference that NPC. If you sort the records in the right-hand pane by file, you'll then have a better idea as to which records need to be deleted from the bravenyworld.esm plugin. Do pay attention though, because the NPC can be referenced as a condition for a record belonging to another NPC. As I said at the beginning of this video, I will do my best to help you out in a comment if you get stuck. Within reason, of course. The onus will be on you to do the bulk of the legwork. Lest there be any confusion, we're going to move on to driver Nephi, and we'll find his lines using the latter approach I mentioned. That way you can see it in practice. Thankfully, Nephi doesn't have too many lines, so this shouldn't take long. So back in FNVEdit, we will expand the non-player character tree and look for driver Nephi. His editor ID is 1E driver Nephi. Select him, and at the bottom of the right-hand pane, click on the Referenced By tab. Sort by file. Do this by clicking on the column header, and it will arrange everything by plugin name. As you can see, Nephi's NPC record is referenced 14 times in the bravenyworld.esm. I can tell you now that we won't be needing all of them. Still, make a note of all 14 form IDs anyway, because it will get you in the habit of keeping track of everything. Later on, we can then discern which records need to be removed and which need to be kept. The form IDs are the 8-digit numbers appearing after the info record signature. The form IDs you should note down are as follows: 000 F87E8, 000 F8B66, 000 F8B67, 0... You know what? I'm not going to read them all out. I'm just going to leave them on the screen. I can't be bothered with that. Keep them handy. We'll be needing them later. Collapse the non-player character tree for the time being. Next, we will delete Nephi's voice type record in the same fashion as we did for Lorenzo. Navigate to the voice type tree, find male unique driver Nephi, and hit delete. Collapse the voice type tree. Errors have once again been produced. Right-click the bravenyworld.esm plugin and select Check for Errors to find them. Looking to the Messages tab, FNV should have found 34 errors. Make a note of them, or alternatively you can keep flicking back to the messages log to view them. We're going to go through each of them one by one. You should be a little bit more familiar with finding your way around FNVEdit now, so I'm going to speed things up a notch. In the bravenyworld.esm, navigate to the non-player character tree again, find driver Nephi and delete the record. The following error was found in 010091F0. Navigate to that record. This line belongs to one of those duplicate dialogue quests I mentioned earlier. You don't want to outright delete this record, Instead, you want to look at the conditions in the right-hand pane. Scroll down some until you find the error. For me, it's condition number 47. Select it and delete it. The following error is found in 010091ED. Navigate to that record, and the same situation again. We don't want to delete the entire record. We want to find the error in the conditions on the right-hand pane. Find it, again, condition number 47, delete it. Next is 010091EF. Navigate, same again, find it in the right-hand pane, delete. Next, 010091EE. Navigate, right-hand pane, find the error, delete. Go through the exact same process for 010091F3, 010091F7, 01009-1FC, 01009-1F1, 01009-1F2, 01009-1FA, 01009-1FB, 01009-1F6, 01009-1F4, 01009-206, 01009-7C4, 01009-1F8, 01009-7C3, 01009-1FE, 01009-205, 01009-1FF, 01009-201, 01009-200, 01009-204, 01009-203, 01009-1FD, 01009-202, 01009-1F5, and 01009-7C2. Next is form ID 000-4ADEE. This is actually an error in the dialog quest instead of an error with the dialog line itself. Following the same principle though, we need to look to the right-hand pane, specifically the right column for the Brave New World plugin. Scroll down until you find the error. For me, it's under condition number 95. Select it and delete it. We're going to do the same for 000FABE3. This will remove Nephi's now missing voice type from the generic fiend quest. Then 0015ACB5. This will remove the error from the generic adult combat quest. And 010000800. This will remove the error from the BNW dialog quest. And the last error is found in 01009-1EC. Navigate to it, scroll down and find the error at condition number 54. Select it, delete it. That should be all of the errors for this section. Let's collapse the Brave New World plugin just to make everything tidy again, and to make sure we've fixed all of those errors, let's right-click the bravenewworld.esm plugin. Select Check for Errors. And looks like we've cleared them all. Right, time to save our work. Next, we need the list of form IDs that we noted down earlier. We will go through each one to determine whether it's still needed. So, starting with 000F87E8, let's navigate to it. Looking to the right-hand pane, you'll see that whilst the line indeed references Nephi, it's actually a line spoken by Lieutenant Gorobets. I know this because A, the line talks about Nephi in the third person, and B, the Get His ID references Gorobets. Because of that, we will leave this record alone and move on to the next one. These are the sorts of things you need to look out for. Let's navigate to the next line in our list. 000F8B66. Alright, now this line does belong to Nephi. As you can see, it's the "who the fuck are you and why are you bothering me" line. Looking at this line, you can see that it doesn't change much. All we have done here was change the emotion type and value so that his facial expressions better matched his dialogue. Technically, you could leave this line as it is, and it wouldn't be a problem in game. The subtitles would still match the vanilla dialogue, and the only thing a keen eye would notice is that Nephi looks slightly angrier. Be that as it may, for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to revert this change back to vanilla. At the top of the right hand column, right-click the bravenewworld.esm header and select Remove. It'll ask you if you want to permanently remove the changes to the record. Click Yes, and the bravenewworld.esm column will disappear, and you'll be left with the untouched vanilla record. Okay, the next form ID is 000F8B67. Let's head to it. And you may notice that it's the second record down from the previous one in the left-hand pane. This is another line for Nephi. Again, this is confirmed by looking at the condition that reads get his ID followed by Nephi's editor ID. The line is similar to the previous one in that it more or less matches the vanilla one, except you'll notice that Brave New World removes the fourth full stop, which is why FNV highlights it as an override without conflict. In all likelihood, this was a fix that I forwarded from Yuki's unofficial patch to make it a proper ellipses. Not a huge deal. If you're using Yup, this will likely fix that problem, so we can delete this record too. Right-click the bravenewworld.esm column header and remove it. The next form ID from our list is 000F9619. Okay, this line belongs to 10 of spades, again confirmed by the get his ID condition, so no changes here, let's move on. The next form ID is 000F961B. This belongs to 10 of spades too. It looks like a line relating to Nephi's death. Let's skip ahead to 000FA2BC. Alright, this line is for Nephi, and it changes not only the emotion type and value, but removes the "no you fucking dolt" portion of the vanilla text. Let's remove this and revert it back to vanilla. Click Yes to confirm. Next is 000FA2C0. This is another Nephi line, let's remove it too. We're about halfway through the list now, but hopefully you can get a feel for what I'm doing. The next form ID is 000FA2C7. Let's navigate to it, and yet another line for Nephi that changes the vanilla line quite considerably. Next is 000FA2C8. No significant changes were made to this line in Brave New World, but we can delete this one too. The next record is 000FA2D3. A slight tweak to the emotion type of one of Nephi's lines. Let's remove it. 000FA2D4, same again, remove it. Moving on to form ID 000FA2D5. This line changes Nephi's subtitle a little, so let's remove it too. 000FA2D6 is yet another line that edits Nephi's subtitles. Remove it. And last but not least, 000FB8B1. Okay, so although this line references Nephi, it belongs to Corporal Sterling. We should ignore this one. Okay, we made quite a few changes there. Let's collapse everything down again and make a save. I'm going to quickly check for errors again, and this time there aren't any. Now that doesn't mean we're finished just yet, so sit tight and keep FNVEdit open. The way we approached things for Nephi was slightly different to Lorenzo. As I said, there were multiple ways we can go about finding the form IDs, so I think it was good to demonstrate that. However, those referenced by form IDs didn't include the topics that kind of encapsulate the lines, so to speak. So we've deleted the lines from the topics and not the topics themselves. That is, when we deleted the lines for Lorenzo, we took the list of topics that were available on the Nuka wiki, so all of the lines within those topics were deleted. Because we didn't take the same approach with Nephi, opting to remove only the referenced by lines instead, there are basically leftovers of empty topics within the plugin. In most cases, these topics are pretty harmless and shouldn't cause any severe problems, but to be on the safe side, I'm going to recommend that we remove them too. Now, you may be asking, why don't we just refer to the wiki every fucking time? As I stated earlier, the wiki is unreliable, and there aren't always dialogue files for every NPC. In some cases, Brave New World adds new topics for an NPC, and Lorenzo is one of those cases. So ultimately, it's better to adopt a multi-pronged approach instead of using only one. That way you can be thorough and safe in the knowledge that you've reverted everything correctly. Right, let's head back to Nukipedia Fallout Wiki at fallout.fandom.com/wiki/fallout_wiki. There we can grab the topics list. Once there, click the search button on the left-hand tab and type in dialogue files. You should be brought to the dialogue files page if you press enter. This page contains dialogue source text for almost all non-player characters across the Fallout games. Scroll down the page until you find Fallout New Vegas and select the Fallout New Vegas dialogue files link. We're looking for 1E driver Nephi.txt on this page. It's not too far from the top in the left-hand column. Here you will see a list of 11 topics for driver Nephi. We don't need to worry about the greetings and topics as those topics aren't unique to Nephi and are shared between all NPCs. We only need to take note of the following. 1E extra fiends 1E driver Nephi topic 000, 1E extra fiends 1E driver Nephi topic 001, Nephi club, Nephi fiends, Nephi intro, Nephi NCR and Nephi Utah. Alright, we're going to switch back to FNVEdit. I'm just going to collapse all of the plugin trees to tidy things up again. We need to enter 1E extra fiends 1E driver Nephi topic 000 into the editor ID field at the top left and hit the return key. FNVEdit will likely find the record from the Fallout nv.esm first, so looking to the right hand pane, we want to right click the Brave New World ESM column header and select jump to, much like we did earlier on. When you do this, if you look to the left hand pane, you'll see all of the topics we're looking for. You may also notice that there's no plus symbol to expand the topics, hence there's no lines for these topics, they were deleted. So we're going to delete all 7 topics, select them and delete them. That should be it. You can check for errors if you feel inclined to do so. You shouldn't find any though. If you do, you've done something wrong. So save and exit FNVEdit and let's head in game to make sure Nephi's back to his good old bland and unexceptional self.
Who the fuck are you and why are you bothering me? Name's Nephi, friend. Driver Nephi. Pleasure to meet you. Now you fucking dolt. Why the hell would it be a pleasure?
There we are, folks. We did it. He sounds low effort, uninspired, and shitty once again. I'm sure you could find, more fucking charisma in a penis-toed lobotomite than in Jesse Birch's half-arsed rendition of Driver Nephi, but hey, who am I to piss on your sugar bombs, eh? If it's half-arsed thou seeketh, then it's half-arsed thou shalt receiveth.
Get fucked.
Well, anyway, that should do it. I've shown you what you need to do to revert a revoiced NPC back to their vanilla state using a couple of examples. And although we haven't covered it in this tutorial, I would advise you to go through any of the Brave New World patches that you are using and follow the same procedure shown here. I know that was quite a lot to take in, especially for those of you that haven't really used FNVEdit before. However, I hope you managed to glean at least some practical knowledge from all of this. Again, if you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, or perhaps you wish to, shoot a little vitriolic little retort my way, leave your name and number down in the comments section and I will endeavour to get back to you as soon as possible. Now go on, off with you. Find your own bloody mountain.